Peace to the world. Assalamu alaikum. People in Gaza, people in Lebanon, assalamu alaikum. Hear me. Hear our voices. We are not only here, we are in every corner of the world. We are crying. We are hurting with you. We are feeling your pain. Kalbi ma Palestine. Kalbi ma Gaza. Kalbi ma Lebanon. We are hurting. We feel. We are out here. Not that I know I will do something. I'm here because I cannot be at home and watch you burn. From day one, when this group of criminals, these groups of heretics, because it is the Almighty's world, and these groups of heretics who decided they wanted to form a sovereignty, a selfish nationalism, all the rabbinical authorities around the world stood up and said, you guys are criminals, you're heretics, you are the scum of the earth, you cannot do what you're doing. And they stood up and they said, we are the Jews. They took the Star of David, they took the name Israel, and they told the world, don't look at those rabbis, don't look at all those Jewish communities that died for 2,000 years by the Inquisition and by the Crusades. Don't look at them. They don't count. We count. Unfortunately, and I hope I'm speaking to believers, there's an Almighty, and He put up something called the Shaitan, the Satan, and the Satan has power. God, for whatever reason, gives the Satan power. The Zionists are the hands of the Satan. They are the power that is now enjoying the bombing of God's creation, of God's people, innocent people, and they are being successful. We cannot deny that. But it is God's world. There will be an end. There will be an end to this occupation. The Roman Empire ended. The Greek Empire ended. Hitler got up and said they're going to take over the world. He didn't, and he wasn't successful. This will end. This occupation will end. In the Torah it says, the Almighty says, why are you rebelling against me? It will not be successful. This state will end. Judaism is a covenant we made 3,000 years ago on Mount Sinai to be subservient to God. We have to emulate God. Just as God is compassionate, you must be compassionate. We are forbidden to steal. We are forbidden to kill. We must show gratitude unto us. Who are the ones in the last 2,000 years when we were suffering by the Inquisition and Crusades? Who are the ones in the last hundreds and hundreds of years that embraced the Jews from Europe? It was the Muslim and Arab countries. We lived amongst them in peace. We always did. We flourished. We were given a home. It was a distinctly different religion. We were able to coexist without any strife. We were able to flourish and put out our greatest rabbinical authorities in the streets of Baghdad, in the streets of Aleppo, in the streets of Egypt, in the streets of Cairo, wherever you would like, and in the streets of Palestine and Al-Quds. We lived together, we flourished together, and there was no reason that we shouldn't be able to live and flourish together. What changed? One issue changed. The the introduction of a selfish, flawed, nationalist movement called Zionism. That is the cancer. That is the problem. Nobody refuted who they were. Theodor Herzl, Ben Gurion, Jabotinsky, Chaim Weizmann. These were not rabbis. These were heretics who decided they wanted a national home. Yet they flaunted. They went with the Star of David, and the world accepted them and said, yes, this is godly. And yes, every bomb is signed and approved by the world as some type of godly bomb to kill human beings. I'm asking you, what could be more perverse? What could be more absurd? What could be more against any basic humanity and logic? It's crazy. There's no words for it. It's satanic. The Torah doesn't permit the Jews, since the destruction of the temple 2,000 years ago, to have even 1 inch, 1 centimeter of Jewish sovereignty, and we respect that as Jews around the world. Who decided to go against the words of God? These Zionists. And they had a problem. They found that the land was occupied, was inhabited by a people. So they told the world, there's no people there. I don't know what they call them, but today we know what they call them. Mosquitoes or cockroaches that have to be fumigated. That's what they call them. To the world they said it's a land without a people. What did that mean? Now we understand what it means. They consider them ants. That's what it means. But it's not true. It was an inhabited land. The majority were Muslims. The second largest community was Christians. The third was Jews, and they all lived together. They were God-fearing Jews. These Jewish community stood up and pleaded with the United Nations. As I always show, I carry the documents. The chief rabbi of the Jewish community, Rabbi Dushinsky, said to the United Nations, it's in their documents, in 1947, before they made the state, he said, we furthermore wish to express our definite opposition to a Jewish state in any part of Palestine. That was the words of the rabbis, and the tens and hundreds of thousands in Jerusalem and Al-Quds around the world. The Jewish communities, true to the Torah, said, no, we do not accept, recognize, or in any shape or form stand with this occupation, the Zionist state of Israel. Never! Never! From day one, those Jews in Palestine are beaten, arrested, assassinated. We in our communities are constantly threatened. Life, death threats we get. We are sometimes beaten, arrested around the world. We are under the intimidation of the Zionist movement. If it wouldn't be for that, you would have tens of thousands more demonstrating. As it is, we are still out there, and we will never be silent and shallow with God's help. The streets of Jerusalem, I want you to know, the boys and girls of the religious community, they demonstrate, they get arrested because they refuse to serve in their army. Around the world, we want you to know, we will stand up. Why? Because I don't know if our voice will accomplish, but I do know that it is required by the Almighty to speak up and say that these guys are thieves, these guys are liars, they're criminals, they have absolutely no right whatsoever for their occupation, and what they're doing is one thing and one thing only. It is criminal, it is satanic, and the world is required. The world is responsible. The world cannot abdicate from its responsibility. They must stop this carnage immediately. They must. It's required. compassionate. We don't understand when he brings a plague. We don't understand when he brings a tsunami. We don't understand when he brought Hitler. But one thing we know, he is compassionate. There will be an end to this. There will be a free Palestine. Until that day comes, first as Jews, we cannot apologize. That's not the word. But we can say we are crying and hurting with you, Gaza, Palestine, Lebanon. We are hurting with you. And at the same time, we will want the world to know, and we are asking of everybody, till that day of freedom comes, do not be silent, because God wants us to be able to say to him, we were not silent, at least that much. We stood up, we spoke out, and maybe we could save humanity. Maybe we could save the people of Palestine. We did not. Gift. It is uncontroversial. To become a leader is a gift. By abusing that power, you will have so much to answer to God one day. It may look good to you. You may enjoy, you may reap the pleasures of that little short time gift that you've gotten. But one day you will have to answer why, when you are given a presidency, a prime ministry, to be a senator, a congressman, etc. Why didn't you do what God gave you the responsibility to do? How can you stand by and watch people in tents burning? How? Why were you silent? Why were you silent by the Holocaust? We ask them. And they're uncomfortable with it. That's what we're going to be asking them tomorrow. Why were you silent? What are they going to say to their grandchildren? And of course, what are they going to say to God? We are pleading with them. It's an insult to basic logic that God gave every child to say that these people of Palestine and of Lebanon are the villains. How dare they say that when you see thousands of people dying, that they are the villains? It's a basic insult to logic. So therefore, we are pleading with you. Speak up, leaders of the world. Don't insult humanity. Don't insult the Jewish people by shaking your head and saying that's Judaism. That's an insult to my grandparents who died in Auschwitz. That's an insult to the thousands of years of Jews who died for their religion. It's an insult to us all. And it's something that we don't even have the words. It's satanic. Stand up. Speak up. Don't be silent. If they accuse you of being anti-Semitic, say to them, I saw the Jewish communities in Palestine, in America, around the world, the very religious, and they said that the ones who are doing this murder are the anti-Semites. Stand up. It's uncomfortable. Maybe we'll be accused of anti-Semitic. Maybe if God forbid somebody will lose their job. But isn't it worth it that maybe we'll be able to save a life? So let us not be silent. The apartheid was for tens of years, and it was accepted by the United Nations. Nobody today will be able to stand up and create a state with apartheid, and the United Nations will ratify it. Yet, it was ratified and it was supported, and the ones who opposed it were arrested. So you can see the world can make a colossal criminal mistake. But the end was, it was people like us who stopped it, not the politicians. We made the world uncomfortable and they stopped it. Let us remember what they accuse you of is simple junk. It's false. It's not true. Don't be intimidated. Let us be able to be proud in front of God. Let us continue standing till God with his compassion will bring an end to this occupation. Inshallah.